Okay. Alright, so you're going to be like over my shoulder? Are you filming already? Or? Okay, what we are making is flour tortillas, and we're going to make ourselves some homemade burritos and tacos. So I guess the first thing you start with, you got to get 4 cups of flour together. I've already put in the teaspoon of salt into the flour, and you want to have that mix into the bowl beforehand. And then lard is added, and water and baking powder. So I'm going to get the 2 teaspoons of baking powder thrown into it. Pretty comprehensive stuff, but we'll do it anyways and show it how it's done. 1 teaspoon, 2. Get all that mixed up, the dry ingredients first, so they can combine. What you want to do after is you're going to get your lard, which is 2 tablespoons of lard with the for the tortilla. I guess this gets kind of crumbled in. I like to melt it up, but I'm going to follow the recipe anyways and see how it goes. So it needs to be mixed in like this. Should be a dough cutter, which would really help, but this is how it's said to do it. I think it's too much flour for the recipe, but we'll see. Turned out last time for me, so. The dough kind of going. You just kind of want to break it up so that the flour starts sticking together, like kind of mealy. Break up all the chunks into it. This is 2 tablespoons of lard for 4 cups of flour. That's kind of getting broken in there. I believe the water needs to be warm, so I'm going to warm that up really quickly. Just continue stirring and mixing, getting all the lard mixed in. It says whisk the flour, salt, and baking powder together in a mixing bowl. Mix it in the lard with your fingers until the flour resembles cornmeal. So I'm about getting there by the looks of it. It says 1.5 cups of water, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you need all of it. Usually, a lot of the time, it's more than what you would require for it. So you get your well in the middle, I think is how it goes. That's pretty worked up there. Get the water, which is slightly warm, which helps the flour mix a lot easier. I'll get the baking powder out of the way. You throw in the water. Put about 1/2 cup in at first. I'm going to get a fork. Fork helps with the mixing. What you do is a well. I'm sure most people have seen this, and you want to go from the well and slowly work the outsides of the mixture into the middle, instead of trying to mix it all at once, and then you get kind of a ball texture getting together. So once it gets a little too thick, then you add more water, and you can always add more flour. Keep mixing it up. I'm going to get another light on. And this is how you make a basic, what is it called? It's like a taco shell, a burrito shell, I don't know whether it's called a burrito or whether the burrito is the after the thing is made with all the filling in it. And that makes a burrito. Soft taco shell. So let's keep working in all of the flour. You want it to be reasonably dry. You don't want it to be tacky at all when you're mixing. If you do, you need more flour. This is getting kind of tacky. Might need more flour. Basically got most of it worked up into it. Lots of work for burritos. It's like straight up in Mexico. Alrighty, I think that's pretty good. Get rid of that and finish kneading on the table. Don't want to overwork it, but I don't know when that is, so I'll just keep doing it anyways. That is a basic burrito shell dough for all those who do not know how to make it. And that is basically it. Alright, now the next step is to get the burrito shell rolling. What you want to do is turn on your pans, turn them up, and have them preheating. You're going to be oiling the pan and then frying the burrito shell onto it. So what you want to do is get your dough, which is sat for a few minutes. And I want to get a chunk. I'm not sure how big these are going to be, but get like a decent handball, I guess, kind of roughly the size. Now get your flour out. Get your dough floured on both sides. And roll it out into the shell. Get a little flour on top, and that helps it not to stick. Sure, everybody's heard this a million times from a million different people, but I want to capitalize on it as well, on the info. So you just keep rolling it out, stretching the dough out. I think it needs to be about 1/8 of an inch thick. Try to keep it as round as possible. I'm going to be putting these on the outside of a taco shell and making that gordita crunch thing after. So that is roughly about the good size of a taco for the taco. So what you want to do is get the oil. Get some vegetable oil. Want to put it in the pan. Maybe that's a little too much oil. I'll only be making one of these just for demonstration, but just to show how it's done. This is authentic burrito making skills. And you want the temperature on the for the pan to be fairly medium to hot. This one's already hot, actually. Maybe I'll use this one. Get the oil spread around. You take your burrito shell, whatever it's called, throw it on. It'll start to bubble up and everything, and yeah. Takes only about a minute to do. It doesn't take long at all. You're gonna want like tongs or something as well. Have handy. Be able to move it around. Once it starts bubbling on the underside, then you know it's kind of getting cooked on that side, and then you can flip it over. The bubbles are all the air pockets made while kneading. As you can see, it's already in that golden kind of bubbly look on it. So maybe another 10-15 seconds. And you want to flip it over. That's got some nice color to it. You'll want to do that for another 30 seconds or so, and then it should be done. And you have a burrito shell ready for filling. And making it yourself, you actually get like a thick shell to it. As you can see, it's about maybe 1/8 of an inch thick or thicker, and that gets some real meat to it, and you're not having a really weak taco shell that doesn't have much to it. So that's getting cooked. The underside never ends up cooking the same, but that's how it goes. Do that, turn off the heat, take a look, and that's about done. And that is a burrito shell in 5 minutes. And this, I think, is a pita. I'm going to try something different. I'm not sure how it works, but take the burrito shell and fold it in half. And then in half again. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing here, but I'm planning on getting air pockets into it. And then I think it turns into a pita shell after. You'll see. I'm going to see how this rises and bubbles up onto the pan. Get a little more flour on top so it doesn't stick. It's kind of a square pita. I'm going to take that and throw it on and see what happens. Which may not happen. I do not have any oil. Let's get a little more oil on there. Swished around. And throw it on and see what happens. If it doesn't work, then just another burrito shell. You'll see. I think pitas have air pockets in them. And they can be cut in half. But this doesn't seem to be doing it. Alright, never mind, another burrito shell. Kind of a square looking one. And you just keep turning it around, get it all coiled up. Now the air pockets are starting to form. Turn on the heat. Not quite though. Alright, never mind. But a nice looking burrito.